Okay, so a few of you asked me why I actually moved to Sweden and not to Germany. So in this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about the reasons why I chose Sweden. Just a little bit of background. I'm originally from Germany and I moved to the UK about 10 years ago. And I also lived in the UK, more precisely in London, for about 10 years. And if you have followed me, I moved to Sweden, to Stockholm, about 2 months ago. So yeah, I'm very new to Sweden and I just wanted to document my journey here in Sweden from the very beginning so you can have a bit of a picture of what it is like to move to Sweden as a foreigner. I'm sure my experiences are right now very different from 2 years down the line. So it's just interesting to see a little bit of the difference. So if you are interested in following my journey, then make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. So yeah, as I mentioned in this video, I want to talk a little bit about my personal reasons why I moved to Sweden and not to Germany, because people mention it is a great country too. And I totally agree with that. So that's why it might be quite interesting to hear my reasons why I moved to Sweden instead. I think when you want to move to another country, you obviously do all your research, you find a lot of things which are probably great about that country. You talk to other people about the country, but then there are also several personal reasons why you might want to move to that specific country. And that's what I'm talking about right now. So let's start a little bit with the first reason. And this one maybe already sounds very strange to you, but it is more about the excitement. I'm coming from Germany. I have lived in Germany for a long time, I think about 25 years. So going back to Germany would be more, like going back and not really exploring a new country. And I don't know, it depends really. If you have moved to other countries, then you maybe know that feeling a little bit. If not, then it might sound a little bit strange. But yeah, for me, Sweden, I only visited a few times. I loved it every time I visited, obviously. And just the thought about coming here and exploring it even further, the different cities, the surroundings, the nature, and obviously the people, like all these things were very exciting to me. And when you move countries, you are quite excited about it, or you should at least, So for me, it sparked so much more excitement than moving to Germany. And again, it also depends what you really want. If you want, something familiar, something which makes you feel comfortable, then maybe it makes more sense for me to move back to my home country. But yeah, I was more thinking about exploring something new. And then one reason was actually the language. This also, it sounds maybe strange to some people, but if I go back to Germany, then I wouldn't learn a new language, right? Because I already speak German. My daughter speaks German, or at least understands German. She's almost 3. And yeah, maybe for my partner, it would have been good to learn more German. But yeah, with Sweden, actually, we have a new language on the table. Don't misunderstand me. I'm so grateful that everyone speaks English so well here. It makes my life so much easier. I don't feel, anxious. I really enjoy that I can just talk to everyone, but at the same time, I really want to learn a new language. And there are different reasons. The obvious reason is that I can actually talk to Swedish people, Some of you already mentioned that in the comments, and I totally agree. It's just nicer if someone comes here and puts some effort in learning the language in the country. But another big reason for me is I was reading a lot actually, about dementia. It's a random kind of topic for me. I do have it in my family as well. But one big topic I read is that you really have to stimulate your brain, to prevent dementia. And learning a language is one of the best things you can actually do. It really keeps you going. There will be new synapses connecting. Yes, it might be quite difficult, but that's not the point. It's really about the experience, the effort you put in, and to just keep your brain going. And I'm also very excited that my daughter actually will be trilingual. She will go to the kindergarten very soon. I mentioned it a few times that we had some struggles with it, but I'm very confident this will happen very soon. And we're sending her to a Swedish kindergarten, of course, because she already speaks English, she speaks German and understands German, and now it's about Swedish. And she's already really cute, where I can just see she's almost 3. She gets it a little bit. She loves saying tack or hejdo or varsågod, which is a new word we kind of learned because a lot of people say that when we say tack. So yeah, it's really exciting. And if you move to Germany, learning a new language would have been very unlikely. And the third reason why we actually wanted to move to Sweden and not to Germany is something probably very surprising to you, but it is the salary. So my partner, we were looking into what the companies were offering, and then we were trying to calculate the taxes which are getting deducted from the gross salary to find out what we would have left with at the end. And you won't believe it, but my partner would have paid more taxes in Germany than in Sweden. And now this is really shocking because everyone tells you that in Sweden the taxpayer have to pay a lot of taxes compared to other countries. But yeah, Germany, when you earn a certain amount of money, the taxes can get quite high as well. Okay, and here comes another reason. And it is really nature and the lakes and the sea. So Germany has amazing sceneries as well, has amazing parts with nature, there is no doubt. But like it is sometimes with us, we had to concentrate on a few cities first to move to because that's where my partner's job was. He actually got a few offers, and it would have been likely that we moved to Berlin. And if you compare Berlin with Stockholm, I have to say that, Stockholm has lakes and the sea and all those islands which Berlin just doesn't have. And since having a kid, I just want to spend more time in nature as well. And it's really easy, even without a car, to be more in nature. Yes, again, I'm sure people who live in the countryside would not even consider like Stockholm, having a lot of nature. But again, me coming from a big city like London, it's a massive difference. But also Berlin. Berlin has really nice lakes around it and also has like really nice parks. But when it comes to, lakes or the sea, that is what Stockholm actually offers. So yeah, I just really like the idea to be surrounded, and I can't even wait getting out of Stockholm and exploring even more. And you don't even have to drive that far, or you can even get there via train. Again, it's similar in Germany, but I feel it's a tick better, maybe a tick more better in Sweden. Okay, another reason are actually the people. So this might sound strange again, but Germans can be quite harsh. I'm a German, so talking about Germans and their character, it's not easy to talk about it. But, I have met so many other people from around the world, and I'm sure someone who wants to move to Germany, like someone who wants to move to Sweden, they ask about the people. And maybe Germans are a little bit similar to Swedish people. But I would actually also say they might be a tick unfriendlier. I'm talking about the Germans. I remember when I was moving to London, I kind of joined like a German community, like Germans in London or something. And I put stuff on there, asked questions. And you don't know how critical the Germans are. I don't know, I think deep in their heart they want to help. But most of the stuff which comes out straight away, and I'm sure there's also a certain type of people, but it's very critical, and there's a bit more negative thinking first, getting this out of the system just to warn you. And then maybe they give you a little bit of advice or some positive thoughts, This negativity is there sometimes. Not everyone, of course. And I have lovely German friends and I love them to bits. So it's obviously not everyone. But yeah, I wouldn't even say that it would be really easy to make friends in Germany, even as a German. I feel actually Swedish people have a really good reputation, Although I don't have a massive experience so far with getting to know some new Swedish people. My partner already have colleagues and he's very happy. So the first impression from his side is actually really positive. So time will tell, but I had the feeling that it might be actually easier or at least a little bit nicer to get to know Swedish people rather than Germans. But it's so personal, and it's not a factor which really was decisive for why to move to Sweden, but it is part of everything. And I mentioned this one already a few times in my videos, but it is really kindergarten and the school system, which I read into it and found really better than the German school system. There I definitely have experience, and of course it might have changed a little bit, but as I also mentioned in my other video, my school was so traditional. There was not a lot of room for creativity or, you know, like out of the box kind of subjects, that kind of stuff, and technology was definitely not on the forefront. So I quite like, every time I read something about kind of the Nordic way of teaching, it is more attractive to me than the German way. Although when it comes to kindergarten, you know, the prices are very similar. It is sometimes even free. I know it's free in Berlin, you know, and in some other areas in Germany. So money-wise, it's actually both really, really great. So I had no doubt that Germany also would have been really good. But you know, when it comes to education a little bit, then Sweden was a little bit better. And I feel like I'm not taking like one topic and making it the decisive topic. You know, I bundle everything together and then kind of have the pro and con list, and Sweden was just winning for me. Which brings me to my last reason, and that is definitely something maybe you can't generalize. This is something very personal to me. I have friends here in Sweden, here in Stockholm actually. 2 couples I knew from actually London. So back in the time in London, there were a Swedish couple which used to live in London and then moved back. And although I do have friends in Germany, in this particular case, it would have been Berlin, and I don't have anyone who actually lives in Berlin. My friends are all over Germany or also in other countries like Austria. So no one really where you can just take the tube and it takes you half an hour to see them. For me, it was just amazing to know that I already have friends here. It's 2 of my favorite people as well. So that made me really happy, and it was definitely a part why I was drawn more towards moving to Stockholm. And besides that, I was very surprised that when I actually put out there that I'm moving to Stockholm, that some other people got in touch with me who actually already lived in Stockholm or were moving to Stockholm. So I actually know more people and about to meet up with them, you know, people from really in the past, which is a great opportunity, and it's an exciting time. So yeah, these were all the reasons why Sweden was just winning a little bit more. I understand it's very personal. It has nothing really to do with economics. And one big downside is actually that my family is in Germany. Even if they wouldn't have been in Berlin, you know, very close, they would have visited us probably, I don't know, maybe once a month or once in 2 months. And obviously I don't have that here in Sweden, which I'm quite sad about, but you know, it is a sacrifice we made. And hopefully things will get easier again, so I can just fly to Germany and my parents can visit me here as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And thank you so much for watching till the end. I will see you in my next video. Hej då!